Hello everybody, back here again for our vlog a day, and today is Friday the 13th, and today was a lovely, beautiful, sunny, a little bit of fog here and there, but not too bad. Beautiful, beautiful day here in North Carolina. So got this morning, got around slowly, not in a big hurry to really get anything massively fast going. We've kind of hit all the main things that we need to do and just kind of been screwing off, and nothing we have to can't live without doing here. So went ahead and said heck of it, ran in town to a little place called Fabulous Toast. I think it's Fabulous Toast, like that. And basically it's a little breakfast joint. They have other foods and stuff too. Went there for breakfast. Had biscuits and gravy, and she had, I don't know what she had now. She had raspberry walnut flavored pancakes with eggs and bacon and whatnot. Traditional breakfast food stuff. Definitely not the cheapest thing by any means. Like, it was, my biscuits and gravy was like $10, which is a lot for biscuits and gravy. A lot of times it's $4 for biscuits and gravy. So I think it was, I don't know, hers was, I don't know, 10, 12. It was a lot. So one of the more expensive breakfast foods had. I didn't know how much was going to be there, how big the pancake was going to be. It's a single pancake and sausage or bacon and egg and stuff. So we didn't try and split it. And a lot of times you get like a half order biscuit and gravy. Didn't have that. So went ahead and said heck of it. Just went when got it done. It was good. Like, it was probably not my favorite biscuits and gravy ever, but it's the best I've had since I moved to Florida. So the best biscuit and gravies up here. I was up in Iowa. Haven't had great biscuits and gravy since then, and this stuff was on the verge of being nice and spicy. It had some good, delicious flavor in it. I wouldn't drive all the way back there just for that again. But if we're up there again next year, timeshare, and that place still exists, and the biscuits and gravy is the same thing, I would definitely eat that again, even for the price that I paid. Like, it was rather expensive. So great little place there. Got done there, kind of didn't know what I was going to do for the day. Really have not had much planning yet. Everything's kind of been, it's like, hey, what's today bring? Today's rain, let's not do this. Today's sunny, let's go do that. So decided to held it. We headed out, trying to drive down Blue Ridge towards Virginia before, and it's usually not the way her and her family always went. They always went the other direction. So we said held it. Sun's shining, let's go. Let's just head that way. Drive until we see some cool roads we want to drive off onto and all the fun that comes with it. And we headed out, we were driving along, hit a couple little spots here and there to stop and look out over the overlook, different little spots here and there, and we're driving along, having a good time, and stumbled across road closure. What the hell? So, like, apparently something's going on in the Virginia direction on the Blue Ridge that we're not supposed to see. So no idea what the hell's actually going on with that. So who knows? So we kind of came back, hit a couple more lookout spots, drove around some back roads and stuff, ended up in town, taking some back roads back in and stuff, turned off in these little back roads. I ended up having to pee like bad. I don't know. I couldn't find, I was like, man, if I can find a little spot to pull off, I'll just take a leak on the side of the road. Couldn't find a place. I was in like neighborhoods. Like, there were just houses everywhere, nowhere to really pull off on, like a dirt road type thing to really get away from people and stuff. And I finally went and found a gas station. Was able to use the bathroom there, and that gas station was disgusting. Like, I've peed in horse barns that were cleaner than this bathroom was. It was so gross. It was so gross. So yeah, definitely not the best thing there. But we headed back out. We just kind of started driving down like through town, because we've been driving down the back roads and looking at, country homes and stuff. I was driving down the back parts of town and stuff. And it was funny, we stumbled out this one spot. I'm kind of following the GPS, seeing there's supposedly a road there. So we head to this little spot, and it's a rock road, and it's not much of a rock road left. We've had a lot of rain here lately, and this, I don't know if it's always washed like this or what, but it was washed out bad. Like, I'm driving along trying to straddle the ruts and stuff, and the washouts, and a couple spots I'm like, okay, that one's too wide to go around, so I kind of come across. And at one point we had the windows down, we were going on this hill, and it's super sketchy, super steep going down, and it's like, yeah, I should have turned around. It definitely 100% should turn around. I get to the point, like, every time, like, I don't know, another like 20 yards, another 20 yards, another 20 yards. I'm like, this is keeping worse. But now I'm at the point now, I'm like kind of pot committed in this, the poker reference, that I don't know if I can back up out of this hill. Like, it's so ruddy and so rough and so steep. I don't know if I can back up this thing. Like, I'm kind of stuck here. Like, to the point I'm like, I have to at some point just keep going, because I can't get back up. And there's nowhere around. It's just this narrow, crappy little driveway, alley looking thing. And I was driving so else, and I had the window down. I kind of go way to the right to get around the rut. And I'm like trying to get it, so I don't drop in this hole and like tear up my front end and get stuck here. God knows for how long till I could. AAA out there towing the rest of it on the hill, which even then is so steep, they're going to pick my front end up and it's going to drag my back bumper off. It's like, this thing is not looking great for me. And on the other side, I hit a to the sides. We just scraped the side of the car on like a limb sticking out. And I'm like, yeah, there you go. So I was like, yeah, whatever. We're kind of laughing, and we're having that whole like thing. I get on the hill, like, I see a bridge. It looks like it goes back to the main road. So we pop back out. It's over by an antique store we've been to before. So we've seen the road. It's just like, an abandoned farm driveway thing. It's right there in town, and I was like, holy crap! I gotta go down this every year from now on. Like this thing was awesome. Like I gotta see how this road holds up over the next 10 or 20 years. So we'll see what happens here, but. I had a great little laugh with that. We ran on some back roads and just had a good time. Ended up heading back to the house there. I got a little bit of bubbly guts, which happens sometimes when I travel. It was not always the best. I'm eating a lot of weird foods and stuff. So we ended up basically back to the house a little bit, and just it was kind of that weird thing of the day. Like it was a beautiful day. We'd seen a lot of beautiful sights and beautiful sceneries, and ended up. I said, "So what are we doing?" She goes, "Oh, let's just rest here for a little bit." And I don't do the rest thing real good in the middle of the day, because like if I start resting very much, I'm like just I want to be done for the rest of the day. Like keep me moving. I'm definitely like a diesel motor. Like as long as you just keep me moving, I can just keep going forever. You shut me off, I may never restart. So kind of hung around a little bit. And I'm like, what kind of time are we talking about? Because if it's long enough, I'll go get my run in while you're, resting or napping or stuff. I'll get my run, get my showering, everything else done, blah, blah, we're all good to go. If not, I kind of need to know what's going on and stuff. And she's like, oh, just for a little while. So about a half an hour or so rolls by, maybe 45 minutes rolls by, and she still hasn't really got up and we're not doing that. I'm like, so what are you thinking? She's like, well, I don't know if you want to. I'm like, well, now it's kind of that weird time frame, what's going on. So I said, hell with it. I just laid down with her on the couch. I said, let's just take a nap. Okay, so I just laid on the couch. The couch is not a good laying down couch together. It's too narrow, very lousy for that. But we made it work. We curled up in there and stuff, chilled out, ended up getting a little bit of sleep. Not a lot, a little bit of sleep. I don't know if she fell asleep. I know she was checking a bunch of Facebook stuff on the computer and just kind of cuddled up with me in that. And I went ahead and I got back up. I'm like, hey, I'm going to get my run in. Forgot to eat, so we're cool. I went out to go out, and it chilled off a lot. We had a cold front coming in, and it got cold. So then I've been laying there for a while. I took a little nap. So my body's tight, and it was not good. It was a rough run. It really was a rough run. I made it though. I got my mile in. Plus, whatever. Actually, I've been running 2 or 3 mile stuff out here each day on the actual runs, not counting all the hiking and stuff. And I turned back about 0.15 miles short of where I usually turn around at. I was like, don't care. Just like, I just want to get home, get over it. I was getting a lot of cramp in my legs. My throat, my chest was hurting real bad from that colder air hitting me. I just wasn't prepared for it. And then, like I said, my body had already started to shut down for the day. So went ahead, got back to the house, grabbed a shower and stuff. We decided to go out to eat. Ended up heading out to a little place and just ended up going. It was, I don't know, just it is what it is. We don't have wonderful, everything's great. Everything's wonderful. Ended up going to a little, what the hell is it called? Willie something other. I don't know. It was actually a burger shop. We stopped out there 3 years ago with her dad. That's now changed into a new company, new business and stuff. And it was funny because there was a guy there 3 years ago, and I had one of my fedoras on. He's like, "Oh, nice hat," blah blah blah. Kind of just weird, kind of autistic spectrum-y kind of looking guy. And I'm like, "Hey, try it on. If you think it works." He's like, "I don't like pull off hat stuff." And I was starting to like, he goes, "Well, if it fits you, you can have it." And it was funny. He's like, "What?" I said, "No, man. Merry Christmas, man. Have a free hat if it fits you." And it didn't fit him, so I got to keep my hat. And her dad was like, "What the hell? You're just gonna give your hat away to some random stranger?" I'm like, "Yeah, why not? Dude likes a hat. I got more of them. They're not like I'm not buying $200 hats here. Like these are not expensive hats." So we had a good little laugh, and her dad just could not believe the fact that I was willing just to hand some random dude a hat and like, you can keep it forever. This is pre-COVID. Obviously, I'm not having some stranger put my hat on their head nowadays and stuff. Back then, it was a whole different world. We went there. We had barbecue, little 2 meat mixed platter thing and stuff. Had some Texas toast with it, pulled pork and brisket. Delicious. Beans they taste like lousy bush beans. I doctored them up with some of their barbecue sauce. Had a thing called corn pudding. So it was like a wet cornbread, like with more corn in it stuff. It was way over dry. It was a corner piece. It was hard. It was not really that great. That was 20 some bucks for that platter, which we split. So it wasn't like an expensive meal by any means and stuff. Had a good time there. We headed back out and basically just kind of chilled around a little bit here and there, and kind of ran around. We ended up going over to Kilwins, which is where we have to get her fudge. Normally she gets ice cream and fudge there, but the places were shut down. You couldn't even walk inside. This had like a gate right by the front, like with this desk, and it kind of turned off the wrong feel to her and stuff. So she never got ice cream. She brought fudge home for family. She brought fudge home for her dad, her aunt, and her son. And I don't think she brought home for herself at all, which was weird. 'Cause I don't like their fudge. I've never had a fudge there I thought was worth the money that you pay, because it's expensive. It's not cheap by any means, but it just never treats my trigger. It's not the best fudge in the world. So, unfortunately, because I think she couldn't go in, she couldn't do the whole like taste a sample here, taste a sample there, get a scoop, blah blah whatever. And also, it was a lot chillier this trip than it was normally when we were there. And she didn't even get ice cream for herself, which bummed me out a little bit. I really wish she would have at least got stuff for herself. That's what she wanted, but she never did apparently. So we headed back to the house, basically to the cabin, we want to call it, and got 90% of our stuff packed up, got ready to go. Cleaned up, got everything, put away and stuff, all ready to go. Got the car packed up, for a good chunk of it packed up. knowing we were taking off in the morning. So that's all we got for right now. Sit on the patio. I actually had the gentleman, the cabin, whatever you want to call it, next to us, had brought home some cigars from when he traveled the Dominican Republic. It was, I think it was Dominican Republic. He brought home like 100 cigars. He picked up there and stuff, and they're not necessarily my choice in cigars, but I traded him out for a factory smoke from Drew Estates to let him try one of those and stuff, and it's a lot better, a lot more flavor. The one he gave me was really kind of bland. Like, it would have been a good breakfast cigar, maybe, like really, really bland. But it is what it is. He likes it, and it smoked smooth. It smoked true. It didn't, change size. It stayed straight. I was impressed with how well it held up in the whole process. So definitely, yeah, it was for the $2 a piece. He's happy with it. Hey, good for him. I'm good. I wouldn't buy them for $2 a piece, because of the fact they're a little smaller than I want, smoke a little hotter than I want, and they just don't have the flavor that I usually smoke into. So, but yeah, other than that, we're gonna all packed up, ready to go. We're gonna get the hell out of there in the morning. So that's all I got for right now. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Have yourself a safe, wonderful day. Thanks for watching.